Hey guys, Happy New Year from all of us at Double Tap. In this clip from our recent episode, we look ahead and ask what's in store for 2023 in tech.
The latest tech.
People love iPhone, and it's an important part of our daily lives.
Interviews.
You see far too many products that come on the market that you look at that you say, was a blind person ever even consulted for something like this?
Accessibility.
The most interesting thing over the last couple of years is the emphasis on gaming and accessibility.
This is Double Tap TV.
Happy New Year! Welcome to the first episode of Double Tap TV for 2023. I am Marc of Lalo.
And I'm Stephen Scott. Mark, I hope you celebrated the new year in style.
You know, Stephen, I do everything in style. No, but to be honest, I was actually anxious for the new year to get over with because I get a little stir crazy when we're off for a couple weeks, and you know what early January is.
Oh, absolutely. It's CES and new tech time.
Absolutely, and we love CES. The Consumer Electronics Show comes to Vegas in early January, the same time every year, Stephen.
Well, coming up today, you'll be pleased to hear this. We're going to be welcoming someone new to the show as we set the stage for the year in tech. That is really important at the beginning of the year, isn't it? Well, he is the editorial director for CNET, one of the foremost tech publications online. Dan Ackerman, Mark, is going to be joining us today.
Okay, so I got to tell you a story about Dan. I've been following Dan for so many years, not to date him, okay? I've been following his writing. I've been following his content on CNET, so I am super looking forward to this episode.
So what are you looking forward to as we dive into a new year, Mr. Afalalo? Any resolutions?
You know, I'm kind of, I think a lot of people are going to be in the same situation when it comes to resolutions and stuff for the new year, which is we do it every year, but how many resolutions do we actually stick to? Okay, so I think I'm going to do something a little bit different, and instead of saying I'm going to get in better shape and eat healthier, which, by the way, I should be doing anyway,
Me too.
I think spending less money on Amazon is probably where I'm going to go, but I think that's a little bit futile.
I think it might be, yeah, especially the buying on Amazon part. I mean, the diet I'll give you, but not the buying on Amazon.
Okay, fine. Definitely the buying on Amazon. I think I'm way more likely to get in shape, to be perfectly honest, and get healthier. But Amazon, no way, Jose. But let me ask you a question, okay? Because we cover a lot here in a year in Double Tap TV, and of course the daily podcast on AMI Audio. What do you think the next year is going to bring to the table when it comes to tech?
Well, I mean, if you're talking accessible tech, I think, the year of the wearable was really last year when we saw companies like Envision and ARX really start to bring forward new specialist products. But I think this year coming, we're actually going to be looking at new products from the mainstream companies, maybe something from Apple. I think hopefully this is the year. I feel like I've been predicting this for years and years, but finally, I think this is the year we'll see it. And that, I think, will certainly set the tone of a new type of operating system from Apple that we've never seen before. It's being nicknamed XROS or Reality OS or whatever it might end up being. But essentially that, I think, the metaverse is probably going to become more interesting to more people, especially as more companies like Apple get involved. So yeah, I think that's where it's going to go. I think virtual relationships is going to be the thing in 2023, which it actually has been since really the pandemic began in 2020. So I think that's probably where we'll start.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, but I also have to think, especially the way we left off 2022, that artificial intelligence, or AI, as everybody calls it, of course, took this giant leap to the top of the newsfeed right before the holidays, right? I mean, the OpenAI chat, and everybody was talking about it. So this leads me to believe that we're in for quite a treat when it comes to the way that computing is going to evolve with AI. The fact that it's becoming super conversational and even more understanding the context of the things that we're actually throwing at it. That really excites me.
But where do you think it's going to impact the most?
I got to assume, or I got to hope at least, that our smart speakers and virtual assistants are going to definitely take leaps and bounds forwards. If you think of like the Amazon speakers or the Google Home assistants or even Siri on the iPhone, I think if those devices got more contextual, okay, and they got smarter in the way that they interact with them, being able to say things like turn on the light and then do things that actually follow in context so it understands where you're going with it, or being able to translate things in real time. I think there's so many things that we could throw into those assistants. I think it all goes back to being able to interact with computing without the need to really understand how to code. When you code something or you build something, you need to learn this new language, and this in use of AI really helps remove the barrier for people who don't have the patience to code, or people who maybe just want to get things done at new levels. Imagine I can go into, a chatbot and say something like, build me an Amazon Alexa skill. Build me an Amazon skill that does this, and it does all the coding and all the heavy lifting for you. Or if you did the same thing, build me an app about this. It really brings us to that Iron Man point, that Jarvis kind of level of technology where it actually becomes useful in an everyday scenario and more than just tell me the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're already seeing major strides forward in that, in the accessibility arena as well. So, for example, if I was needing to write a script for my screen reader, JAWS, now that can be quite a challenging thing to do. Yeah. I've got absolutely no idea where to start with that. But I can actually now feed in the manual of the screen reader JAWS into this ChatGPT OpenAI project and just ask it to create me some code. And it does it, and it works. So, we're really starting to see the value here. And, voice computing is so powerful. When that can become conversational and contextual, things are going to change in a big way, because for a lot of blind people, that is the best way to interact with computers, a buttonless, screenless computer. What more can you need?
You mentioned ChatGPT and OpenAI. That is the one that made the headlines before the holidays, and it's an open source project that I think was spearheaded by Microsoft, but a lot of other people are involved. And it literally is what they call a chatbot. You actually literally can ask it questions or ask it to do things, and it will actually spit that stuff back to you in intelligence. So if you do want to check that out, I think it's openai.chatgpt.com, and we'll put that, of course, on our social media. Now, Stephen, you teed him up, and it's now time to get our guest all set up and ready to come on the show. CNET's Dan Ackerman is with us next as we ask ourselves what the year 2023 is going to look like in tech. So stick around. This is Double Tap TV.
You're watching Double Tap TV. Get involved. Follow us at Double Tap On Air or email us feedback@doubletaponair.com. Double Tap TV will be right back.